Hello, my name is Haley Barberitz, and I'm going to go over the positioning grid for the Green Bean Cafe. The Green Bean Cafe is a restaurant that I plan to put in my building that I'm renovating, where I will also have two apartments in the top two floors. So, in doing this, I'm going between two different businesses. I thought that the Green Bean Cafe would be most beneficial to do on the positioning grid because of the analysis that I know that I need to do for the business and because of the content of the restaurant. And what I mean by that is that I believe that the Green Bean Cafe would probably have a lot more substance behind it on the analysis of the positioning grid rather than the apartments that I plan to have on the top two floors. In the positioning grid, the two axes that I decided to label along the x-axis, I decided to use health, and then on the y-axis, I decided to use price. So health going up, price going up. So right here at competitor A, I classified them as fast food restaurants where the price is low, but also the healthiness of the meal is also low. In these fast food restaurants, they're probably using lower quality food with preservatives in them, which will enable them to be able to keep the prices low. Checking out competitor B over here, they are moving along on the health scale. These are just normal restaurants with, I would say, about $10 meals, whereas they're probably using some fresher ingredients, but on the actual menu, they're probably not as healthy. Then I have moved along having myself. I am higher on the health axis, but my price is also going to be higher than the others. In doing this, I plan to use top-notch ingredients such as all organic meats and vegetables, which is then going to make my costs go up, and I will have to have a higher price point than my other competitors in the area. So one type of restaurant business that I did not put on my grid were the higher end restaurants, thinking of maybe like high dollar steak places or Italian foods. I would see those people as not in my market because the people that are going into high dollar Italian foods or whatever that might be, they are going to indulge. My business, I plan to have a healthy food restaurant where people can come pick up their food. So I considered fast food and then maybe restaurants where people would be able to take their meals to go. So that's why I did not include maybe higher end restaurants on my grid. Whenever I did my client investigations, so what I did is I took it to Facebook, and the reason why I did this is because I am a personal trainer, and I believe that a lot of my market are going to be people within my gym, and those are really the people who I associate with. So essentially, what I did is I made a survey on SurveyMonkey.com. On my Facebook status, I gave a quick little pitch about my business for those who didn't already know what it was. And I asked them a few questions. So I asked them on a scale of $5 to $15 how much they were willing to spend for the type of meal that they would be receiving. And the average answer was about 12. I did have some people say that they were willing to spend $15 for a meal, which I think was kind of crazy. And then I had some people say $8 for a meal, which that would be understandable, but being that my costs are going to be in the higher range, I think that $12 for a meal would be something that would be reasonable for me in my business. Another question that I asked was if delivery was offered, would you use it? In which 77 people out of 116 had said yes. I'm sorry, I take that back. Actually, 77% of 116 people said that yes, they would use delivery if it was offered. I also asked them which meals that they would be likely to eat from the Green Bean Cafe, in which most responded that they would be eating there for lunch and dinner. I asked them if they would be likely to order an app, or order from an app, which I plan to develop, and 84% of 116 people said yes. I also asked, what is the purpose for eating at the Green Bean Cafe, which 79% responded that it's for a healthier option. We really don't have any healthy food options in the area unless you go to a regular restaurant and order a salad. The next follow-up answer was weight loss, which was only 13% of the responses, and I had honestly expected that option to be higher. Then the last question I asked was, would they be more likely to order out or dine in? And it was close. The dine in was 59%, where the order out was 41% of the respondents. Being that the average answer per meal was $12 was really encouraging, and I think it helped me position myself on the grid a little bit better. Whenever I'm thinking about going out to eat at a regular restaurant where you could pick up a meal to go, I think maybe spending $8.99, $9.99, so $12 is a little bit higher up on the scale, and that makes me feel good as that's what they expect to pay, being that I expect to give them the highest quality food, and that was mentioned in my pitch as well. Something that was confusing to me is that a majority of the people said that they would be dining in the restaurant, but then it was about 80% that said that they would use delivery if it was an option. So that was a little bit confusing on where to invest my time in. I wanted to be able to create an app and be differentiated in the fact that I have a healthy restaurant, but I also want to make the delivery process easy for them. So that makes it a little bit more difficult knowing where to allocate most of my time and give the better customer experience. I honestly didn't anticipate about 60% saying that they wanted to eat inside the restaurant, especially being that they know the building that I'm located in and there's not much space in there. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one. When thinking about my selling points, it's one, that I'm offering a high quality meal to these customers. Two, I want to sell a great experience as well. So that confusion messes with me a little bit, but I think that if people are saying that they'll use delivery, and I believe that a lot of people will want to take out their meals, especially for the lunch hour. I think I'm going to stick to my original plan to developing an app and making that experience easy on the customers. I thought of a positioning statement, which I hadn't had one before. I made it the Green Bean Cafe, where Portsmouth health begins. Really, nobody else in the area can claim that. There are no restaurants in our area that claim themselves as being healthy for anyone. We have a ton of pizza places, bars, fast food restaurants. I can with 100% confidence say that there are no places that claim to be healthy and market that to customers. In doing this, I would also be the first entrant to that type of market. So that's where I came along with where Portsmouth Health begins, because it's going to begin with the Green Bean Cafe. Going over my client interactions, this was challenging for me because when I went to school in Charlotte, we had to do a lot of different marketing practices. And during that time, I had a very Charlotte-y mindset in which this was a big city. I was reaching many customers, and I had more segments there. I had to be a little bit more crafty with how I would reach potential clients. However, in my small town, I hate to say this too, but I am well known, and I am known as a subject matter expert in health because I'm a widely known personal trainer in our area. So I kind of already have that credibility. So this business doesn't exist yet. I do have a social media page, which has gotten a lot of followers, even though that the restaurant isn't open yet. So I plan to use social media to target people in and around Portsmouth, Ohio, because in Portsmouth and maybe a 10-mile radius is pretty much all that will be coming to the restaurant, especially regularly, which I'm going to rely on regulars to help this business succeed. I'm not really trying to reach anyone from out of town. I would also plan on offering discounts by setting coupons or discounts at places that have health mindsets, such as our local hospital, or hospitals, I should say, and local gyms in the area. I have a good relationship, even though I work at one specific gym. I have a good relationship with all the gyms, and I know that there are already a lot of people within those places looking forward to this restaurant opening because it's the first one of its kind in our area. I also plan to rely on local advertisements and maybe sponsorships. I would be a local business, so a local business, people would likely already know that my business is open because it's such a small area. But I feel like seeing the name would help get the name out a little bit better. So seeing it maybe on kids' soccer uniforms or something like that, it seems very small, but just being a local business, I think that's going to be crucial. And then last but not least, this is very basic, having signage without outside of the building and also on delivery vehicles so that people who are maybe sitting inside their office see the delivery vehicle drive by. They will be like, oh, maybe I should order from the Green Bean Cafe next time. I think just seeing the name more and more will make it click with people like, oh, I need to try that if they have not done so already. With having signage outside the building, that's super basic, but just knowing that it's there, there are already a lot of people passing through the Second Street area in which the Green Bean Cafe will be located. So I think signage is going to be very, very important. I think through this assignment, not only did I learn where I stand alongside competitors, I also learned what my customers expect from me, which is going to be really important in enhancing their customer experience with my business once the Green Bean Cafe actually opens. Thank you for listening. This has been my positioning grid for the Green Bean Cafe.